Wednesday. It is Steelers Talk Live here in Week 13 of the 2023 NFL season. We've got a whole show ready for you guys, man. We've got a jam-packed show. Can't wait to break down the latest around the Pittsburgh Steelers with you guys today. We're going to be going over the latest news and rumors here in just a second. We got a little bit of Todd Haley rumors today, Coop. Can't wait to talk about that. We'll also be talking a little bit some free agency targets for the Steelers as well. And then we're going to be discussing why T.J. Watt should be the defensive player of the year here in 2023. We also got some Diontae Johnson replacements if the Steelers decide to trade him this offseason. Which guys could they look to try and replace him? We're going to be talking about that on our third segment today. And then, as always, we got the Steelers Talk Live Mailbag. So make sure you use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to get your question on today's show. Coop's already waving his towel, man. He's been waiting all week. So here we go, Steelers, here we go. Here we go, Steelers, here we go. Here we go, Steelers, here we go. Coop, how you feeling today, my friend?
Spare Dog, it always makes my day when I get to do a Here We Go Steelers chant at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's always great, man. It's always great to come on the show here, talk about the latest surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. We learned today, Coop, some good injury news here. Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be back this week. What do you have to say about that?
Very excited to see Minkah back. Trenton Thompson played pretty well last week, though, so we'll see how they use him this week.
Yeah, with Cole Holcomb and Quan Alexander out, I would expect them to see a lot more three safety coverages now. See Minkah out there, see KZ, and then also put Trenton Thompson in kind of that Terrell Edmonds, Keanu Neal type role.
Montravius Adams as well.
Yeah, Montravius Adams looks like he's going to be back as well. But really, I do think Keanu Benton is going to be the full-time starter at nose tackle from here on out. I just think Benton's played a whole lot better than Adams. I like Adams. I like his motor. I think that he plays the game the right way. But he's just not nearly as talented as Keanu Benton.
For sure.
So
always good to have that depth, though.
Yeah, it's good to have depth. Absolutely. Hot Rod is already in here with a $2 super chat. Let's go, Hot Rod. Everybody spam Hot Rod in the chat. All 57 of you that are currently watching, spam Hot Rod. Let's go. And he says, here we go, Steelers. AFC North about to be ours. Hot Rod, thank you so much for your support, my friend. Box Boy is here. We got exclusive Gibby 61 here. Illusion Aviators here. Ryan is here. Damian Roy, my dude, is here. M&A Production Studios. Cassie Voth, my girlfriend, is here. What's up, babe? And we got K Britt 1988. What's up, K Britt? It's good to see you. All right, man, we got a good crew of Yinzers to kick off today's show, man. And Coop, let's start off by talking a little bit about the Steelers' record here first. Oh, okay, I got you. All right, so we got to get to our sponsor read here before we get into today's questions during today's build-up. And today's sponsor is the brand new sponsor here at Steelers Talk, which is Factor Meals. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all of your holiday to-dos. Too busy with holiday plans to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping and the prepping and the cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy. This holiday season, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered straight to your door, ready in just 2 minutes with no prep and no mess. Head on over to fractormeals.com/SteelersChat50 and use our code SteelersChat50, one word, no caps, to get 50% off. That's code SteelersChat50 at factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 to get 50% off today. Now, Coop, let's talk a little bit about the Steelers' record here. Of course, you're sitting at 7-4 right now, and you've got a couple games to go here, a few more games. What do you think will be the final Steelers record here as we go down the home stretch?
13-4. They're winning out. No, realistically, I think
Coop says 5-0.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about that, man.
I
6-0.
think it'll be more like 11-6.
Yeah, 11-6, 10-7 is probably a realistic expectation. But could they get up to 12-5? I think they could.
It's possible.
The next couple of games that they've got, right? You look at the schedule coming up. You got the Cardinals this weekend at home. You should be able to win that football game, right? Then you get the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. That should be a win, too. I know it's Belichick. I know Kenny Pickett's a young quarterback. But I do think that the Steelers should win that football game. Then you go on the road to the Colts. The Colts are well coached, but the Steelers have the better overall team. So you could absolutely win that game on the road. You beat them last year on the road. So maybe they could pull that one off again this week. And then we could go, or in week 15, I should say. Then you get the Bengals again, this time at home. That should be a win. So over these next 4 weeks, you should be able to win at least 3 of these football games.
And if they need to win in week 18, they will take care of business.
Oh yeah, the Seahawks and Ravens games to finish out the season. Those 2 games will be tough, but Lamar Jackson has not played well against the Steelers defense in his career, and I can guarantee you this right now. If the Steelers need a win in week 18 to either make the playoffs or win the division, they're coming away with the dub, and they're sweeping the freaking Ratbirds this year. We got a couple of super chats rolling in here. One from K. Britt, 1988 here, and one from Dominic Schrader. K. Britt says, division is ours. I like where you're thinking here, K. Britt. Love it. Then we got one from Dominic Schrader, man, a real one here at Steelers Talk. One of the OGs here says, need the trade Tay for a second from the Giants. This draft class is loaded. Replace him with Tez Walker or McMillan. Also draft King or Lassiter.
It's funny you say that, Dominic.
So it's funny you say that, Dominic. We're actually going to be going over Diontae Johnson replacements on today's show. So let's talk a little bit about Diontae here, Coop, because after last week, he has the quote-unquote drop touchdown pass, right? That probably should have been a touchdown because he had 3 feet in. Then on the next play, he doesn't really block on the fumble, and then he doesn't chase after the defender, and he gets absolutely blasted for that, and for good reason, I would say. But now people are starting to say, we need to trade this guy in the offseason. What do you think about these potential trade rumors here with Diontae Johnson?
I will let you know, but first we do owe a chant.
All right. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Every $5 super chat that we get today, we're doing a Here We Go Steelers chant. And I'll say this right now. Every $10 super chat, we got these little Kyler Murray boots. All right? We all know Kyler Murray is tiny. We got the tiny Kyler Murray boots today. So for every $10 super chat, I've got lemon juice. Coop has got his tequila. We're taking shots out of these Kyler Murray boot shot glasses today for every $10 super chat. $20 you can join the Hard Hat Hall of Fame, and $100 to join Steelers Talk Gold Club for life. All right, so Coop.
Yes.
Answer this question. Should the Steelers trade Diontae Johnson this offseason?
I'm going to cheat and say it depends. Yes, if you can get the right deal. If you're going to get a second-round pick for him, I'd heavily consider it. I just didn't like the body language that I saw from him.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it either. And I think everyone involved, including Diontae, acknowledges that he apologized to his teammates and to the media today, or was it today? It might have been today. It might have been yesterday. But when I look at this situation, Diontae Johnson, his cap hit is only $15 million next year. And I know people at home are probably saying, oh my gosh, $15 million, that's so much.
It's really not.
But it's really not for somebody that's a really good wide receiver in this league. So I'm going to be breaking down the potential options that the Steelers will have this offseason later in today's show. So make sure you guys stick around. And our boy, last week's co-MVP on the watch party, Elliptic 6 is here, baby, and he wants us to take a Kyler Murray boot now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Elliptic Sixer.
10, 9, 8, 7, elliptic sixer. Sixer, 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 sixer. What's good, Sixer?
It's Kyler Murray boot time.
It's Kyler Murray boot time, folks.
Just in case y'all didn't see our sponsor read, our show today is brought to you by Factor. I had a Factor meal last night, and it was gas.
Yeah, Coop and I Cassie and I are going to be having some Factor meals tonight. They sent us a whole care package of meals.
I had a smoothie today, too. It was very good.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have my smoothie tomorrow. So here we go. Cheers, folks. Thank you to Elliptic 6.
Suck it, Kyler.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Elliptic 6. Every 10 that we get, we're doing Kyler Murray tiny boots. We got tiny boots from Kyler Murray this week. We're going to be doing them on the watch party, too.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot of fun this week, man. Lots of short jokes on the watch party this weekend. You better believe it.
Midget.
And then big shout out here to our Black Diamonds, including Mr. Elliptic Sixer here. So we got Sam Pugh, F1 video watcher, Nathan Glass, Go Blue Buckeye, and Elliptic 6 are our Black Diamonds. If you want to, for some reason, become a Black Diamond today, it's a $500 Venmo at Jack Sperry or a Cash App at Captain Jack 19. And then also, I want to give a shout out to all of our Gold Club members. If you put in $100 on just one Steelers Talk stream, you get a shout out on every single Steelers Talk live show and watch party for life. So big shout out to Austin Tardif, Mo Love, Brian Love, Anthony Fuller, Nathan Glass, James Lombardo, DJ V, Patty Gustafson, Elliptic 6, Alexander Watson, Zach Eckert, Troy Hart, Andrew Longoria, Jesse Johnson, Go Blue Buckeye, Samuel Pugh, Hot Rod 24, Black and Gold Emperor 40, Lord Buddy Bear, Max Payne, Chad Corley, F1 Video Watcher, Steelers Dad, K Drizzy, Andrew Arnold, Jesper Torkelson, Jacob Wizerak, Nightmare, Sporting XD, and DJ KJ. Thank you to every single member of Steelers Talk Gold Club out there right now. And we're going to get into our first segment here in just a second, Coop. But first, make sure you click that thumbs up icon.
Hit it.
And like today's stream, all right? I already see that some of the members of Gold Club are here. I already see that a lot of the regulars are here. I see that Dominic's here, and Damien's here, and End of Days is here, and Hot Rod's here, and Ryan's here.
Hot Rod says he likes Kyler Murray better.
Kyler Murray. I like Kyler Murray too. Someone send in another 10, and we'll do another Kyler Murray shot.
I love it.
Let's do it. Make sure you click that thumbs up icon. We got 80 people watching right now. We're at 23 likes right now. Let's get up to at least 30.
Yes.
Let's get to 30 before we start today's show, man. I want to talk about Todd Haley today. I didn't think I'd be talking about Todd Haley ever again.
But here we are.
But his name has come up, man, so we're going to have to talk about him today.
I want y'all to know, so we use this thing called Canva to make our thumbnails, and Sperry deleted all of the Matt Canada photos out of it, so we will never talk about him again.
Matt Canada is officially dead in my mind, man. He's gone. Ding dong, the bitch is dead is what I like to say, Coop.
Oh, man.
All right, we're 2 likes away from 30. Come on, help us get there, folks. It helps push this live stream out to other Steelers fans like yourselves. There we go. We got there. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. On today's show, we're going to be going over the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Also, we got Diontae Johnson replacements coming later in today's show. And then always remember to use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat along with your question to get on the Steelers Talk Live Mailbag coming up here in about 20 minutes. Cooper, are we about ready to get things going here?
I believe we are.
All right, man. So somebody send in a $10 Super Chat so we can do more Kyler Murray shots. These are fun, man. I'm not going to lie.
Use hashtag Steelers, by the way, to get in on our mailbag.
That's right. Get in on the mailbag. Hashtag Steelers. Super Chat. Get in on the mailbag. Make us do shots. $10 Kyler Murray shots today. Let's get them going. All right. So, Coop, we ready to go? All right. Let's get into this first segment today. The latest news and rumors coming to you from Pittsburgh. Could the Pittsburgh Steelers be bringing back former offensive coordinator Todd Haley to replace Matt Canada? I'm going to address the recent rumors on today's edition of Steelers Talk. Also, should the Steelers replace Levi Wallace with Marcus Peters, the latest NFL free agency rumors when it comes to the black and gold? And then also, I'm going to tell you why TJ Watt is this year's defensive player of the year. Screw Myles Garrett. TJ's the best. I'm going to let you know later in today's show. But before we get into the juicy stuff today, the meat and potatoes, go ahead, shout your guy out in the comments section. Who do you want to be the next offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Get our show started today by going down in the comments and letting me know. And then speaking of offensive coordinator candidates here, there's a rumor going around that former Steelers offensive coordinator Todd Haley would be open to coming back to be the Steelers offensive coordinator if Mike Tomlin gave him a call. And the only thing that I have to say to this man is that there's no way the Steelers should bring this guy back. There's just no way. This guy can't even make it in the USFL as a head coach, as an offensive play caller. He was a failure in the minor leagues. How are we going to call this guy back up to the majors and bring him back to be the Steelers offensive coordinator? Now, I know some Steelers fans have fond memories of some of Todd Haley's offenses, right? The Killer Bees and Antonio Brown and Big Ben and Le'Veon Bell and, all that stuff. But this guy, we just got rid of somebody that runs a super old school offense. Todd Haley's system is one of the most old school systems you are going to find. It's like a run and shoot offense from the 1980s, 1990s, man. Like it's just straight up vertical deep shots in his offense, right? And it's just not a modern NFL offense, man. It's just not. It's not even successful in the USFL of all places, right? And he hasn't coached as an offensive coordinator in this league since 2018 when he was fired by the Cleveland Browns. And Hugh Jackson, the Cleveland Browns head coach at the time, said it was the worst hire he has ever made and one of the worst decisions he's ever made. So no, we should not be bringing back Todd Haley. I don't know if the rumors are true, but if they are, Mike Tomlin, put down the phone. Let's talk about it. We're not bringing back Todd Haley. All right, now let's talk about somebody that I think would actually be a better option for the Pittsburgh Steelers here at offensive coordinator, somebody that I haven't talked about on the show yet, and that's Los Angeles Chargers offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Because the Chargers, it looks like they're getting ready to fire Brandon Staley along with the rest of this staff at the end of the season. And if Kellen Moore isn't, say, elevated to the head coaching position to replace Brandon Staley there in Los Angeles, and that means he's essentially a free agent. And in my opinion, Kellen Moore is one of the more creative offensive minds in the National Football League, and I would love to bring him in as the next offensive coordinator of our Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that he's somebody that's done a really good job in this league. I think that he would be someone that's really good in terms of fit with Kenny Pickett, if, of course, Pickett is the starting quarterback for the Steelers next year. And I really do think that he deserves to be among the top candidates on the Steelers short list once they eventually go looking for a new offensive coordinator to start the 2024 season. All right, now, if you want to see the rest of my list of Matt Canada replacements, my top 10 list is now on the Steelers Talk YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link to that video in the comments and description of today's video. So when you're done here, make sure to go check out that video down in the links and the comments section, or in the comments and description of today's video. Now, but if you had a choice here, let me know down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. Pick one of these guys to hire. Are you going to hire Todd Haley, type TH? Are you going to hire Kellen Moore, type KM? Or is there some other guy that you really, really want to be the next offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let me know down there in the comments section. And if you pick this one, the other, let me know who that guy is down there in the comments section. Again, this is the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Now let's shift to free agency here, where Marcus Peters, a cornerback for the Las Vegas Raiders, has been released, and he's actually had a pretty decent season to this point. So the question becomes, should the Pittsburgh Steelers consider bringing in a good scheme fit in Marcus Peters and replace Levi Wallace, who has really had a tough season to this point. His Pro Football Focus grade only at a 50.4 right now. That's 106th out of 120 eligible NFL cornerbacks according to PFF right now. And Marcus Peters, let's just face it, man. He's had a pretty decent season. The Raiders and him kind of had a falling out, but he's a pretty darn good press man corner, and that's what the Steelers like to do here. And you look at his grade here, it's better than Patrick Peterson's even. So, I mean, forget about Levi Wallace, who's almost 20 points behind Marcus Peters at this point. You bring in Peters right now, he could certainly be, somebody that could definitely mesh it well with this Steelers defense. Now, you look at the certain situation with the Steelers right now, they don't have a ton of cap space to work with, just under $3 million in cap space to this point in the NFL season. So it's not like you're going to be able to offer Marcus Peters a ton of money at this point in the year. And then also a big question here is the Steelers defense is playing really well right now, right? They haven't allowed over 20 points to an opponent since week 4 of this season. So does the Pittsburgh Steelers really want to rock the boat here? Do they really want to get rid of Levi Wallace and bring in somebody new when the defense is already doing a really good job at limiting points? So these are all really good questions. And coming up here, I'm going to let you know if I would sign Marcus Peters to the Pittsburgh Steelers here for the home stretch of the 2023 NFL season. But first, let's talk about our sponsor today at Factor Meals. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all of your holiday to-dos. Too busy with holiday plans to cook but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping and the prepping and all the cleaning up as well, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, and all you have to do is heat and enjoy. This holiday season, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes without the prep and without the mess. Head on over to factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 and use code SteelersChat50 to get 50% off. That's code SteelersChat50 at factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 to get 50% off today. For me personally, I would consider bringing Marcus Peters in here because I think that he's a good scheme fit here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Press man corner, very aggressive, and he's been doing actually a pretty decent job this season, much better than Levi Wallace. And you could even make an argument Patrick Peterson to this point in the season. Now, I know this maybe rocks the boat a little bit when it comes to the defense. So if you're somebody saying, Jack, I don't want to bring in somebody new, the defense is playing well right now, I understand that take. But I think Marcus Peters has the ability to potentially make this defense even better as we approach the 2023 NFL playoffs. And if the Steelers can make the postseason, they need to have all hands on deck for that postseason run to try to maybe get a W here for Mike Tomlin. And I think adding Peters would absolutely help them out. Another name to monitor right now on the NFL free agency market is Shaquille Griffin, who was just released by the Houston Texans today. His grade so far has been 66.3, somebody that was rumored to the Steelers during free agency this past offseason. So he's definitely another name to monitor as well. If the Steelers want to replace Levi Wallace, who has not looked great this season, the options are definitely there for the Pittsburgh Steelers to take. Now, if you could only pick one free agent corner to replace Levi Wallace with, who are you picking? Type MP for Marcus Peters or type SG for Shaquille Griffin down there in the comment section when you get a sec. All right, now let's talk about the Defensive Player of the Year award because, in my opinion, TJ Watt, not Myles Garrett, who just got hurt, by the way, is the best defensive player on the planet Earth right now, and I don't think it's really a competition, if I'm being quite honest with you. Take a look at the numbers between TJ Watt and Myles Garrett here in 2023. TJ has more tackles. They're tied for tackles for loss. TJ has a half sack more. Yeah, Myles Garrett does have the one more forced fumble, but TJ Watt has a fumble recovery for a touchdown, so keep that in mind. And then overall, the points above replacement, the number one Sabre metric that front office GMs use to determine the value of players. TJ Watt is the most valuable defensive player in the National Football League so far this year, and it's not close, beating Myles Garrett by over 5 points this season. TJ Watt, plain and simply. This guy is the most valuable defensive player in football right now. I don't want to hear about Myles Garrett. I don't want to hear about it, Browns fans. You can go kick rocks. You can go suck a freaking lemon. This guy is the best defensive player in the world right now, and Browns fans can suck on it. Better player. Let me know down there in the comments section. Is it TJ Watt or is it Myles Garrett? I think it's TJ Watt. If you agree with me, type TJ down there in the comments section. Or if you think I'm crazy and you think I'm a homer and you think Myles Garrett should win Defensive Player of the Year, type MG down there in the comments section. That'll be it for today's Steelers news and rumors, my friends. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Make sure you click that subscribe button for more Steelers news and rumors coverage as we approach the playoff season here in Pittsburgh. And until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers. All right, so that's one in the book here. That's one in the books here, Mr. Mr. Coop. Oh, my goodness. I might be on drugs here, man. I need a Kyler Murray boot right now, man. Oh! That's 2 shots from my friend. He's back. Gary Reynolds. Gary. Let's go. Gary, I haven't seen you in a while, my friend. It's good to see your face. A $20 super chat from Gary Reynolds. Let's go, man. Let's party it up. We've got these Kyler Murray boots right here. And I've got some lemon juice.
That's nasty.
Oh, yeah, man. This one's for TJ Watt, DPOY. Let's go. Suck it, Petey. Let's go.
I love how Petey just gets roped into this.
All right, man. We got these Kyler Murray boots. They're tiny little shot glass boots because they're Kyler Murray sized. Every $10 super chat we're doing Kyler Murray shots. Let's go. Another $2 super chat from our friend Gary.
What's going on, Gary?
What's up, Gary? He says, just had a baby and been working nonstop. So, Gary, congratulations on the new baby. You know what? I'm going to take another shot for Gary.
Pour one out for Gary.
And his new... Oh, Exify is here. What's up, Exify?
What up, Exify? What's going on, brother?
Exify won our raffle this weekend, the Matt Canada flag.
Indeed.
All right, every $10 super chat we get, we're taking Kyler Murray shots down the hatch. Let's go. God, that's sour. Good stuff. Cheers to you, Gary. Congratulations on the new baby. Let's go, man. All right, so Gary. All right, so coming up here, we got the Steelers Talk Live Mailbag. Make sure you get your questions in right now using hashtag Steelers or Super Chat. Let's get those questions going here so we can get right into it. I see Exify is here. I see Caden Productions is here. I see Ryan's here. Of course, Gary Wren. Let's go, man.
Let's go.
We got a whole crew here.
We need a few more questions.
So we still need a few more questions. Maybe use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to get your question on the show. Still need a couple more questions. So if you got something you want to get on the show, use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat.
Young Noticeable's here as well.
What's up, Young Noticeable? Young Noticeable, get your questions in. I'm guessing you have something to do with Jordan Addison here.
Oh, no doubt.
I'm sure he wants that. I'm sure he wants me to give my take on Jordan Addison for the 20th time.
We love Jordan Addison.
We love Jordan Addison. We do. Pitt Panther legend.
All right, I think we got enough. We can get away with it here.
We got enough?
I believe we do.
Sounds good. I believe it's sponsored by Hexclad here, Coop.
I also believe that.
All right.
Do you believe that?
Coop says we got enough questions. Keep those questions coming.
Keep them coming.
And also, if you want to get your question at the top of today's show, get your super chat in, and your question's going to be next. All right? Every $10 we get, we're doing a Kyler Murray shot. We got these tiny boots. You guys can see the tiny boot glass right here. This is Kyler Murray's actual boot.
Because Kyler's small.
Rumor has it we stole these boots from Kyler Murray's what's it called? Mudroom. We went to Kyler Murray's house, stole his boots, and we're drinking our lemon juice and tequila out of them today.
May or may not be true.
May or may not be true. They're rumors, guys. All right, so here we go. We got the Steelers Talk Live Mailbag coming your way right now. Let's get into it. Let's go. Today's Steelers Talk Mailbag is sponsored by Hexclad. For 10% off some premium cookware to get today, go to hexclad.com/Chat Sports. And yes, it is the Week 13 mailbag right here on Steelers Talk. And before I get into your questions here in just one moment, make sure you click that subscribe button to join the most interactive Steelers community here on YouTube. We have weekly live shows and we got weekly watch parties where you guys get your voices heard here among Steelers Nation. And then also during the live shows, you get the opportunity to ask your questions and get on these mailbags. So make sure you click that subscribe button today to have your voice heard here in Steelers Nation. And with that, I'll pause and open up for questions. We got $20 super chat from Gary Reynolds. And he says, TJ Watt for Defensive Player of the Year. And I couldn't agree with this more, Gary. I think that when you look at the numbers right now, TJ Watt is the superior player if you're comparing him to the other Defensive Player of the Year candidate here in Myles Garrett. Now, of course, we hate the Browns here. I mean, FPD, right? But we got TJ Watt here who has more tackles, the same amount of tackle for losses. He's got more sacks. He's got one less forced fumble, but also keep in mind he has a fumble recovery for a touchdown this year in a key moment against Myles Garrett's Browns to boot. And then when you look at the most important Saber metric that NFL GMs look at to determine the value of players, points above replacement, TJ Watt is 5 points higher than not only Myles Garrett, but the rest of the field. Myles Garrett ranks number 2 among defensive players in this category. TJ Watt is absolutely running away with this right now, almost worth 30 points by himself this season. He's been absolutely fantastic, so 100% TJ Watt for Defensive Player of the Year. Then we got a $5 super chat from my friend and longtime watcher Dominic Schrader. It says, need to trade Tay, talking about Diontae Johnson, for a second-round pick from the Giants. This draft class is loaded. Replace him with Tez Walker or McMillan. Also draft King or Lassiter. And Dominic's right, man. This draft class is absolutely loaded. But George Pickens is also very young. So this will be interesting for me, man. It really will be interesting to see what the Steelers decide to do. I know Mike Tomlin and the Steelers love Diontae Johnson. He's kind of the perfect Z receiver to George Pickens' X spot. So it's going to be a little bit hard to find a replacement for Diontae Johnson, right? But the opportunity is there to trade him for like a second-round pick and then draft his replacement, who would also be cheaper. But is that something the Steelers really want to do? The Steelers are arguably ready to win right now, right? And if you get the right offensive coordinator and Kenny Pickett turns into something here, or you get the right quarterback next offseason, this team's going to be ready to potentially win Super Bowls next year. So when I look at this situation, do you really want to take the risk? You know what you have in Diontae Johnson right now. Are you going to risk drafting a rookie being just as good as Diontae Johnson in his rookie season? I think it's a little bit of a risk, but it's definitely something worth discussing. Then we got one from Steel City Yinzers. Says, after seeing Pickett play last week without Canada, would you say Justin Fields is an upgrade at this point if the Steelers decide to trade for him? And the answer to this, Steel City Yinzers, if you had asked me this a week ago, I would have said 100%. Yes, Kenny Pickett stinks. But after that nice performance that he had against the Cincinnati Bengals, and, that defense doesn't stink, right? They can turn the ball over. They got some nice players on that defense. I mean, he was attacking down the field. He was attacking the middle of the field, which is something that Canada was so afraid to do this season. I thought Pickett showed some really good things. So right now, I'm not comfortable saying Justin Fields is definitely an upgrade. Now, could he be an upgrade? Potentially. I think we're going to see throughout the rest of the season just how good Kenny Pickett is. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Who is the better player right now? Type KP if you think Kenny Pickett, or type JF if you think Justin Fields. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Then we got one from Elliptic Sixer, Black Diamond here. He says, will we win the AFC North? And if so, how far into the playoffs will we make it? So this is going to be tough. I'm going to say no to the AFC North. Now, is there a chance that they do? 100%. If the Steelers have a chance to win the AFC North in the last week when we traveled to Baltimore, I think there's a 100% chance the Steelers win that football game, because F the frickin' Ratbirds. But, the Ravens are a really good football team, and it's going to be really, really tough to outpace them for the rest of the season, in my opinion. I do think they will make the playoffs, though. I think they get to at least 10-7. That's 3 wins to 3 losses for the rest of the year. I think that's completely feasible. And if not 11-6, I think that's perfectly feasible as well. That's actually my official Steelers record prediction, is 11-6 for the rest of the season. But overall, I do think that the Steelers can make the playoffs. Can they win a playoff game? I think that question depends on how well the offense looks going into the playoffs. You put up over 400 yards of offense right last week against the Bengals. It looks a lot better. If it continues down that path, I say absolutely the Steelers can win a playoff game. Now, before we get to the rest of the questions today, let's have a word from our sponsor at Hexclad. And I have a question for you, Steelers Nation. Are you ready to rock your holiday cooking game this year? Look no further than Hexclad, the revolutionary cookware brand that's changing the way we cook during the most wonderful time of the year. Hexclad's innovative hybrid design combines the best of both worlds, giving you the ease of nonstick, the durability of cast iron, and the versatility of stainless steel. This means you can confidently crush your holiday feast without spending the rest of the week on dishes. And they make for fantastic gifts for the home chef in your life as well. To spread the holiday cheer, Hexclad is giving our listeners 10% off your order with our exclusive link. Just go to hexclad.com/chatsports. Support our show and check them out at hexclad.com/chatsports for some seriously killer cookware. What's great about Hexclad is that all their products have a lifetime warranty. These are literally the last set of pots and pans you will ever have to buy. So for all my cooks out there, Hexclad has to be at the top of your holiday wish list this year. This holiday season, give yourself or a loved one a gift that will actually last forever and change your cooking game for the rest of your life. For a limited time only, our listeners get 10% off your order at hexclad.com/chatsports. Support the show and check them out at hexclad.com/chatsports. Don't let your cookware hold you back this holiday season. Happy cooking and happy holidays. Next question here comes from Hot Rod 24. It says, who is your realistic choice for offensive coordinator next year? So this is a good question, Hot Rod. And if I could pick one person, I would pick Eric Bieniemy, Kellen Moore, Chris Forrester from the 49ers, or Darrell Bevell, the quarterback coach from Miami. Those guys are at the top of my list. All right, but if I have to guess who is going to be the offensive coordinator moving forward, my best guess is Byron Leftwich. He's got all the connections to Mike Tomlin and the Steelers organizations. He's a former Super Bowl winning offensive play caller. He runs the same exact offense that Bruce Arians ran here in Pittsburgh the last time Mike Tomlin won a Super Bowl. It just seems like everything is lining it up for it to be Byron Leftwich. Now, Leftwich isn't at the top of my short list, but I wouldn't hate it if Leftwich is the guy. I think that he has a sound offensive structure, and I think he would be fine as the next offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now it's your turn. Let me know down there in the comment section. Who do you want the next offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be? Do you want it to be, I don't know, Eric Bieniemy, Kellen Moore, Todd Haley? Let me know down there in the comment section, and don't say Antonio Brown. All right, now we got one from Ryan here. It says, what's your opinion about how Broderick Jones has been playing, and has he been the best tackle from the draft so far? So I think that Broderick Jones has played freaking awesome. He has completely transformed the Steelers' run game. You look at the Steelers' rushing numbers from before he was playing, and it was Chukwuma Okorafor at right tackle versus after, and Broderick Jones started playing at right tackle. It's night and day, and right now the run game is actually the main engine of the Steelers' offense. You can make an argument that starting Broderick Jones has had just as much of an offensive impact as firing Matt Canada, and that is saying something because Matt Canada's offense was terrible. All right, so when I look at this right now, Broderick Jones has certainly been the most impactful rookie tackle at this point. There's a lot of really good tackles in this league, so it's tough to tell if he's going to be the best tackle moving forward. But in terms of who's having the best rookie season, I would have to say, out of all the guys that were drafted in the first round this year, I got to give it to Broderick Jones. Then we got one from Noah Hood. What's up, Noah? And he says, I know it's way too early to look at the draft. It's never too early here on Steelers Talk, man. And he says, but as we stand right now, who would be your first-round pick, assuming it's in the 20s? I think I'm looking at Kalen King. So, obviously, I still have to do all my draft research, watch the film, all this different stuff. So my opinions on this is completely based on conjecture and based on what I've seen on TV and the little amounts of film that I've seen on some of these top prospects. So if you're sitting in the 20s and you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's assume that you're not drafting a quarterback, all right? You look at what the Steelers need. They're probably going to need a slot wide receiver. They might need another outside receiver if they trade Diontae Johnson. You're going to need a center. You might need a guard, potentially. And you might need another tackle. Let's see, what other needs? You need an inside linebacker, most likely, and probably another corner. So, there's lots of good players. Somebody I'm going to keep my eye on for sure for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cedric Van Pran, the center out of Georgia. He is an awesome center. I can't wait to dive into his film, and to bring him in right away to replace Mason Cole, I think would be bloody fantastic, and it would really get this Steelers offensive line on the right track, in my opinion. Super interesting. We're going to get more into the draft coverage here moving forward. But for me, I'd say Cedric Van Pran. Then we got Young Noticeable 25. Says, do you think just because we make it to the playoffs, Kenny will be our guy in 2024? I would rather get another QB. Look at what we're doing with a mediocre. So what I would say, Young Noticeable, is that I want to see Kenny play the rest of the season. Last week, he played a lot better. It wasn't a perfect performance. Still missed some key throws and missed some key reads. If you want to actually see my All-22 film breakdown of last week's performance, it's on my Twitter. Coop, if you can put my Twitter up on the L3 right now. I am at Jack_Sperry if you want to check out my film analysis of Kenny this past week. But I really do think it depends on how Kenny plays the rest of the year, right? If he's consistently leading the Steelers offense to 400-plus yard performances and he starts putting points on the board, I honestly don't think you can replace him. Now, can you bring in another veteran to potentially compete with him? Sure, right? But if Kenny keeps showing promise here, you're not just going to get rid of him. The only way that I think the Steelers straight up replace Kenny this offseason is if he really proves that last week was a flash in the pan. He starts throwing inaccurate passes again, and he starts to struggle big time down the stretch. So, if he starts struggling and they make the playoffs, I still think that getting a replacement is in play. But it's really going to depend on how Kenny Pickett plays for the rest of the 2023 campaign. Now predict it for me down there in the comment section. Will Kenny Pickett be the Steelers' QB1 in 2024? Give me a yes or give me a no. Predict it for me down there in the comment section. And that'll be it for this week's mailbag, guys. Really do appreciate all of your support. Make sure you click that subscribe button so you can join us for the next Steelers Talk live show. We have one every single Wednesday where I take your questions and you can get your voice right here on the show. All right, 2 down, 1 to go here, Mr. Coop. $10 Kyler Murray boot shots. We got these tiny boots that allegedly came from Kyler Murray's house that we stole. What's that, Coop?
People are talking.
People are talking, guys. So if you want us to drink out of Kyler Murray's boots right here, send in a $10 super chat. By the way, I'm going to take one right now. I feel a little bit thirsty. I'm feeling a little thirsty here, man.
XDefy, I'm sorry we didn't answer this. Is Minka starting this week? Minka is back this week.
Minka is going to play. He was a full participant at practice today. So is Montravius Adams. Kenny Pickett dealing with a little bit of an ankle issue, but he was a full participant, so he's going to be playing.
He's fine.
But maybe his mobility won't be 100%. But, at this point, nobody's 100% in the National Football League. So, except for maybe Justin Jefferson, because he said he's not coming back until he's 100. So, right now, I would say if Kenny Pickett plays the way he did in Week 12, and that's a big if, okay?
Big if.
That's a big if. That's one game. But if he plays like that for the rest of the year, and he really proves that Matt Canada was the problem, I think you got to bring him back as your starter, Coop. What do you say?
Yeah, I agree. I think if he plays the rest of the year well enough, you have to bring him back. You just don't have starting quarterbacks on a rookie contract very often. So you have to be able to build around that. And if the Steelers finish out this season on a strong enough note, I'm bringing him back.
Yeah, and if he stinks it up, it's not like I'm saying that there's no chance that you don't replace him, right? Like we did a Kenny Pickett's replacements video just last week, right? So there's lots of options that the Steelers could still use. But right now, I'm definitely willing to let the rest of the season play out, see how Kenny plays. The Steelers are most likely going to make the playoffs. I would say with the rest of the schedule being as easy as it is, if you don't make the playoffs,
then he's gone.
You probably have to replace Kenny Pickett, right? So I would probably say that's a pretty decent litmus test, right?
Yeah.
If you make the playoffs,
he's back. Give
the kid another shot. Maybe you bring in like a Jacoby Brissett or somebody like that to take over if he stinks next year. But, like Coop said, you just don't have quarterbacks on rookie contracts all that often. So if you got a guy here in Kenny Pickett that could be nice, you don't want to move off of that too early. You get one from Hot Rod 24, $2 super chat here. Says build around QB on a rookie contract, then decide.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that, Hot Rod, for sure. And you know what? The thing is, you don't really need to build around a quarterback because you're already built. This team is ready to win now.
Yeah.
The defense is fantastic. We got the best defensive player on the planet. We're getting Minka Fitzpatrick back. Keanu Benton looks amazing. We still got Cam Hayward and Alex Highsmith. And, Michael Walker and Trenton Thompson look damn good these last 2 weeks as well. This is a great defense outside of Levi Wallace, right? Who stinks, and we all understand that. This defense is great. And then on offense, you got George Pickens, Diontae Johnson, if he's here next year. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, who's really butted into a young stud in this league. This team is just a quarterback and an offensive coordinator away from being Super Bowl contenders. We're really that close, people.
I was laughing before the show when we were talking about Todd Haley and how Kenny Pickett struggled with Matt Canada. Imagine with Todd Haley how Kenny Pickett would struggle. Todd Haley would not have the patience for Kenny Pickett whatsoever.
Dude,
And by the way, like Sperry said, there is no way Todd Haley is going to be the OC of this team ever again.
Dude, he's never coached. He hasn't coached in this league since 2018. He just got fired by the USFL.
That's not even the best minor league.
It's not even the XFL, man. And he got fired from those guys. Like, we're going to bring him back to be... No way.
No way.
Dude, even back in the day, Big Ben Roethlisberger would just be like, F this play call. I'm gonna call something else. So, I mean, it's just not going to happen, guys. If they end up doing that, I might puke.
Oh, that I would actually throw up.
And I know that there's some Steelers fans that have good memories of the old days with Big Ben and Antonio and, Le'Veon and all these different guys, right? The Killer Bees.
That time is gone.
But that time is gone. It's a new day in the National Football League, and we don't have those kinds of players anymore. We don't have Antonio Brown anymore. We don't have Big Ben Roethlisberger anymore. We don't have Le'Veon Bell anymore. We got some nice pieces. We got good players. George Pickens is one hell of a talent.
Love GP. If Diontae Johnson gets his shit together, I like him too. I like Jalen Warren a lot. I like Pat Freiermuth.
I love Pat Freiermuth, man. 120 yards receiving last week. Kenny was finding him over the middle of the field.
I like Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones is going to be a great foundational piece. I think at this point, you almost have to think about keeping Broderick at right tackle. I mean, am I wrong on that? He has been so good at right tackle that you would be hard-pressed to move him.
Yeah, but then what do you do long-term at left tackle?
You draft another one.
Yeah, just draft another.
You might. There's quite a few offensive tackles in next year's draft. The options are there.
Because it's Stanmore Jr. right now, right?
Stanmore Jr. right now.
He stinks.
He hasn't played well.
Yeah.
Like, you got to replace Stanmore Jr. in the offseason, whether that's with Broderick Jones or whether that's with a new rookie or even sign somebody.
Is Chuck's a free agent after this year?
I don't think so. No, he restructured his contract, so he's still on the team next year, but he's going to get cut.
Isn't he getting paid, though?
No, I'll look up his. I'm pretty sure with his restructure, they made it easier for him
to cut him. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just think you drafted Broderick to be the left tackle long term, but he has, like you said, he has played so well at right tackle.
But Coop, I think that the left and right tackle thing gets blown out of proportion at times because maybe not most, but many of the best edge rushers in football line up against
left
the
side.
right tackle because they know that teams usually put their best guy to protect the blind side.
That's very true. That's a very good point.
So having a really good right tackle is super important in today's game because there's so many. You look at Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, all these different guys that line up. TJ Watt. We line TJ up against the right tackle because we know it's the more favorable matchup for most teams.
That's a very good point.
So having a good right tackle, keeping Broderick there, I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea.
On that.
I'm not opposed to moving him to left tackle, by the way. I think that if you think that he could make that transition back over to the left side, do it. But, don't just move him over there just to move him over there. This offense is humming with him at right tackle. So next year, Chukwuma Okorafor, his cap hit is $11.833 million. But if you cut him, the dead cap is only $3 million.
Oh, so you can cut him pretty easily.
So you can cut him and save
$8 million.
$8 million.
Yeah.
So I think the Steelers have to do that.
Goodbye, Chucks.
Bye, Chucks. It's been nice knowing you, man. You shouldn't have called out Mike Tomlin after the Jaguars game. Good luck finding another starting job, Chucks. That's all I have to say, man. All right, so coming up here, we got the Diontae Johnson replacements video. Going to be breaking down all the different avenues that the Steelers could do. Could they trade for another receiver? Potentially. Could they trade him for a draft pick and then sign a receiver? Potentially. Could they trade him away for a draft pick and then draft a wide receiver?
Potentially.
Maybe. We're going to break down all those options for you guys here in just a second here. Cooper, are we ready to get things going?
I believe we are. This one is Factor, correct?
This one is Factor.
All right.
Yes. All right, so let's get into the Diontae Johnson replacements coming at you right now. With Diontae Johnson having some attitude issues on the Pittsburgh Steelers, today I'm going to be breaking down all the ways that the Pittsburgh Steelers could potentially replace wide receiver Diontae Johnson during the 2024 offseason if they so choose. Before we go down the various different ways that the Steelers can handle this situation here, do me a favor, go down in the comment section right now and let me know. Should the Steelers trade Diontae Johnson this offseason? Simply give me a yes or a no to start today's show. So far this season, Diontae Johnson, 30 catches, 1 touchdown for 55 yards per game. Certainly not stellar numbers, but the Steelers' passing game as a whole has not been great. Diontae right now among Steelers pass catchers is tied for first in points above replacement with Jaylen Warren actually at 8.8 points above replacement. Diontae currently ranks 39th in points above replacement league-wide. So he's certainly not playing like true number one football right now, but he's also playing pretty decently well for how bad the Steelers' passing attack has been here in 2023. You look at his contract breakdown here as we move forward into 2024. If you keep him, the cap hit is $15,800,033 and $334. So that's it's not nothing, right? That's a pretty decent cap hit. But when you compare that to some of the other guys in the league, and we'll compare him to some of the other dudes in this league, that's really not that bad if you take that into account. Also, the dead cap hit, if he's traded, you're still going to have to pay 5.8 of that. And then also, if he's traded, you only get $10 million in cap savings, guys. So really, you would have to find the right deal if Diontae Johnson is going to be traded this offseason. And you need to get the same or more value, in my opinion, in terms of who you're trading him away for, right? If you're drafting a wide receiver, you have to be pretty damn sure that he is going to be just as good, if not better, than Diontae Johnson pretty much right away, because this Steelers team is built to win now. This defense is great now. You got George Pickens now. You've got both Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris now, right? You don't want to get rid of him for a rookie that's going to develop 3-4 years down the line, right? So if you're going to replace Diontae Johnson, you have to be pretty darn sure that his replacement is going to be just as valuable or more valuable moving forward into the 2024 season, and at a value here because you only save $10 million. Now, coming up here, I'm going to be going over the top Diontae Johnson replacement options for the Pittsburgh Steelers, trade, free agency, and draft here in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Factor Meals. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-dos. Too busy with holiday plans to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and all the shopping and the prepping and the cleaning up as well, while still getting all the flavor and nutritional quality that you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat up and enjoy. This holiday season, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered straight to your door, ready in just 2 minutes without the prep and without the mess. Head on over to factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 and use our code SteelersChat50 to get 50% off. That's code SteelersChat50 at factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 to get 50% off Factor Meals today. So now let's talk about potentially the best replacement for Diontae Johnson that could reasonably be got by the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason, which is wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins from the Tennessee Titans. And man, this one's intriguing to me because DeAndre is a very affordable option on the trade market that could potentially want out of Tennessee here during the offseason. So you take a look at DeAndre Hopkins' situation here. I think that D-Hop's actually played a really good season this year. His Pro Football Focus grade is at almost an 80, despite some of the worst quarterback play in the National Football League. He's currently ranking 21st among 122 eligible NFL wide receivers. And with just 1 year left on his contract, he's due for a cap hit of just over $8 million if he's traded. He did sign quite a bit of a signing bonus with the Tennessee Titans, so they would still be on the hook for quite a bit of his contract here. And this is a very affordable option for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let's not pretend that DeAndre Hopkins isn't still a legitimate #1 type receiver in this league. This year, to this point, 45 catches for nearly 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's getting more yards per game than Diontae Johnson at this point. And you take a look at his numbers in previous seasons, it's been pretty darn good. Has been kind of dealing with suspensions and injuries over the last couple of seasons. But overall, man, this is one of the best wide receivers overall in the National Football League. Still has great body control, great hands, still a really good route runner, and he's better after the catch than people give him credit for. You put DeAndre Hopkins on the other side of George Pickens and then Pat Freiermuth in the middle. All I have to say to that, man, is good luck covering all three of those guys there on the outside and then in the middle. You could probably get DeAndre, in my opinion, if you just straight up swap him for Diontae Johnson, but because the Titans are taking on a larger contract, Diontae Johnson's cap hit is nearly double next season than what DeAndre Hopkins is. They'd probably want another draft pick here, so you can give them a day 3 pick, a 6th-round pick, throwaway pick here, and you get DeAndre Hopkins as your new running mate here with George Pickens. I think that would be absolutely electric. But let me know down there in the comments section, would you accept this trade to bring DeAndre Hopkins to the Steel City and replace Diontae Johnson? Type A if you're going to accept, or type D if you're going to decline. This is also the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of today's of that time by answering today's pinned question. So now that we've got over the trade idea that I had, let's go over the free agency options here. And I definitely think there's less options that excite me in this category, because in order for this to really happen is that you're going to have to find an affordable wide receiver that's probably going to cost less than $10 million in order to really make it financially make sense for you. And also, you're going to have to find a guy that's just as productive as Diontae Johnson, which is going to be pretty tough at a $10 million budget range. So some of the guys that could potentially be got, Darnell Mooney, I think he's worth more than $10 million. Tyler Boyd is probably going to make more than $10 million as well, but maybe you can get a discount on him. Kendrick Bourne, somebody that's been a very solid wide receiver throughout his time with New England, could be an option to replace Diontae. Marquise Hollywood-Brown, another guy that's played the Z spot in his career, but he has a drop issue. And then Van Jefferson, no longer with the Rams, actually. He's with the Cardinals. So not sure why we got the Rams logo back there. F. Coop in the chat there for that one. And he says F the Rams. But anyway, man, I just don't love any of these options, to be honest with you. And I really don't see the Steelers replacing Diontae in free agency. I really think that if they're going to replace Diontae Johnson this offseason, it's going to be either via trade and get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to be legitimately have a possibility to be better than Diontae Johnson, or they're going to go into the draft. So that's the last option here, is you could go into the 2024 NFL draft. Say you trade Diontae Johnson for a second-round pick, and you could go out and get one of the top wide receiver prospects in this year's draft class. It's a loaded draft class. Now, before we get things going here, I do want to go over some of the less likely options here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Roma Dunze. These guys are going to be probably top 15 picks. The Steelers are not going to be, or at least most likely, they're not going to be drafting within the top 15. But there's definitely a lot of really good wide receiver talent that could be had in the late first or second and even early third round pick or third round this year that could absolutely replace Diontae Johnson for the future. You look at some of the biggest names here. You got Keon Coleman from Florida State sitting at 6'4", 215. Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State's another big name that could be got. I think Egbuka is actually a really good scheme fit for what the Steelers would need in a Diontae Johnson replacement. Can play that Z position, is a good route runner, technician, all those good things. Then you got the two Texas boys, Adonai Mitchell and Xavier Worthy. Coop is celebrating in the background. He wants us to go get those guys. And then you also got Xavier Legette from the University of South Carolina, currently ranked 32nd on Pro Football Focus's big board. So you see all those ranks down there. The PFF rank is on the Pro Football Focus big board right now. So before I go over the rest of the wide receiver options in the draft, make sure you click that like button right now. Click that thumbs up icon to help out the channel right here on Steelers Talk. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. So make sure you click that thumbs up icon and help out today's show. So it really doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to replace Diontae Johnson. So at the end of all this, we can talk about trading for a receiver, and I'd be open to that, by the way. We can talk about getting another free agent. We can talk about replacing him in the draft. But overall, I just don't think the Steelers are going to do this. And unless something crazy happens and the Steelers are forced to trade him, I really don't think that they're going to, because financially, you're in a pretty good spot with Diontae Johnson, okay? You're only going to be paying him next season $15.83 million, okay? Like, you look at some of the guys at the top of the market right now, like Tyreek Hill, top of market for wide receivers right now is $30 million. For a guy like Diontae Johnson, one of the best route runners in the National Football League, is a former number one receiver in this league as a Robin to George Pickens' Batman for just $15.83 million. That's a pretty good steal. And if you trade him away, I think it's going to be really, really tough to find a replacement right away that's going to be just as good, if not better. Right now, the Steelers are trying to win. They're trying to put the best possible players on the field to help them win a Super Bowl as fast as possible. Diontae Johnson does that. So I really don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be trading Diontae Johnson this offseason. And honestly, if I'm Omar Khan, I'm probably not planning on doing it. So don't expect him to get replaced. Don't go into this offseason with high expectations that they're going to draft him or that they're going to trade him. I know that he's had an attitude issue, okay? I've been the first one to say, if you see the ball on the ground, first of all, go try to get it. And then also, if you see someone pick it up, go freaking tackle him, all right? I get all those objections on Diontae Johnson. But the guy is super talented. He gets open all the time. He's a great third down safety blanket for Kenny Pickett. And he's somebody that can help the Steelers win. So unless something completely crazy happens and the Steelers are forced to trade him this offseason, which I see as unlikely, expect Diontae Johnson to be a Pittsburgh Steeler at the start of the 2024 season. All right, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you enjoyed today's video and you want more Steelers news and rumors content, all around the clock, 24/7, 365. We got you covered here. We got breaking news coverage every time the Steelers make a move when they hire a new offensive coordinator. We're going to be right here breaking it all down with you guys. Also, the free agency, NFL free agency, and the 2024 NFL draft are right around the corner as well. During the offseason, we're going to have videos breaking down free agency and the draft just about every single day. So if you want in-depth coverage on the draft and free agency, this is going to be the place for you. And then also we got weekly live shows. We got one on Wednesday, and then we also have watch parties for every single Steelers game. So if you want to join the most interactive Steelers YouTube community here, make sure you click that subscribe button. It is all 100% free. Join our family and help us get to 40,000 subscribers. All right, Coop, that was our last segment today. We're going to put on a 2-minute shot clock. Today, we're doing, you know what? I'm going to slash the prices. $5 Kyler Murray boot shots. $5.
Word is, this is his real shoe.
The rumor is we actually went into Kyler Murray's house and stole his shoes. We got the little boot shot glasses here, $5 super chats, and we'll take shots out of Kyler Murray's boot.
So F Coop, because I pasted over it on accident, so we didn't have the other 5 draft targets, but one that I do like, Johnny Wilson.
Johnny Wilson's good too.
I like him.
There's a lot of good receivers in this year's draft class, man. Deep draft at wide receiver. I really think that there's going to be some receivers here that you could get in the 3rd, 4th round that are going to be immediate contributors and role players for these teams. So, the Steelers look like they're probably going to need a slot wide receiver next year. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest to see them go get somebody in like the 4th, 5th round and get like a legitimate starter at slot wide receiver.
Is Ladd McConkey really the 60th rated player?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know, man. It's kind of crazy. All right, so we got Hot Rod in here with the $2 super chat.
Oh.
So Anthony Fuller says, is it his real shoe? Rumor has it this is his real shoe.
It's maybe a little too big for him.
Yeah, this might be a couple sizes too big. I'm not too sure, but we'll take shots. We'll take shots for $5 right now. So Hot Rod says, we need to trade for Jalen Johnson this offseason. Here's the thing, Hot Rod. He's a free agent. We could get him without having to trade draft capital.
Now, I would have loved the Steelers to trade for him at the deadline, though.
Dude, when he made that pick against the Vikings on Monday Night Football, the first thing that came to my mind is, what if we had that guy on the other side of Joey Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a top 5 corner in the league right now. We could have had him for a 2nd-round pick.
You think he's a free agent target for the Steelers?
Oh, yeah. If they were targeting him at the trade deadline, they're targeting him in free agency.
I think so, too. He might be the highest paid corner in free agency this year.
Yeah, the only thing is he's going to get paid a lot. He's going to be an expensive guy. So, I mean, the Steelers... How do
you find the money?
Yeah, trade Diontae Johnson.
Get a couple of restructures in there. You cut Chucks for one.
You could probably restructure Minka. You could probably restructure TJ. You could probably do all that stuff, right? You could probably restructure some guys. You can cut Chucks.
Find a cheaper backup quarterback than Mitch.
Yeah, you can get rid of Mitch's ass, man. Get rid of that guy.
I think he's a free agent anyways.
The only thing that I don't love about replacing Diontae with a rookie receiver next year is that there's no guarantee that receiver is good, period, and there's definitely no guarantee that he's better than Diontae day one.
Absolutely.
Because
it's definitely a risk.
It's like, how many receivers in this league right now are better football players than Diontae Johnson? Not many. What are the chances that a rookie that we draft next year is going to be better than this guy away.
Without looking, where would you rank Diontae Johnson? Receivers in the league. 15?
No, lower.
A little lower than that?
Borderline top 30.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing with Diontae.
But he's a wide receiver 1 in the league. I think he is.
I think he's, to quote Mike Tomlin, I think he's an elite Robin, but he's a shitty Batman.
Fair enough.
He's a shitty Batman because, like, he's small. He runs backwards on when he gets the ball at times. He doesn't have the best hands.
Hot Rod says 25. Devin Olsen says top 20. That's kind of where I have him, like between 20 and 25, I think.
But, like, I have a tough time putting him in the top 20 because of all the shit they have to put up with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
the off-the-field stuff is definitely concerning.
He's got the off-the-field. Well, it's not even necessarily off the field. It's more on the field pouting. Yeah. It's like on the field pouting. It's running backwards after the catch. It's not having a wide catch radius. But, the route running is top 10 in the league. Easy. It might be top 5. I mean, the guy is a technician. But, there's that only gets you so far, right? There's so many receivers in this league, Coop, that have size, that have body control, that have great hands, that have speed as well, right? And they're also great route runners. So I'd have to say top 25, maybe. But I think he's an elite Robin. That's what I'll say. All right, we got a Kyler Murray boot coming up. Dominic Schrader, my dude. What's up, Dominic? He says 1, he wants Lassiter or King. 2, so he's doing a mock draft right now. We got our first mock draft of the 2024 season. He says go get Fotanu in round 2. Round 3, Tez Walker.
Rolly would be happy with that.
4, Cedric Van Pran. Do we think Van Pran gets there in the 4th?
That's probably pushing it. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't think Cedric Van Pran. I mean,
think he's there?
I think Van Pran, just based on what I've seen from him and what I saw in his film last year watching all the Georgia players, the dude probably would have been the number 1 or number 2 center in the league or in the draft last year. So yeah. I don't think he's going 4. I think Cedric Van Pran is at least a second-round draft pick.
Riley Leonard or Sam Hartman in the 4th as well?
A quarterback, a Sam Hartman.
I'll say this. If I'm a GM in the NFL, I am drafting a quarterback every single year. I'm drafting a quarterback every year, man.
Are we drafting Sam Hartman in the 4th, though?
Riley Leonard, maybe.
Riley Leonard, maybe, but Sam Hartman, I think he's a 7th-round guy. Am I crazy to think he's a 7th-round guy?
I bet he goes before 7th round.
He's got the size and the arm strength, but I don't know, man.
He's old, though.
He's very old. I'm not too sure. Tommy Eichenberg, linebacker, in the 4th round. Interesting. Yeah, I don't hate any of this, Dominic. I really don't. I probably won't come out with my first official mock draft until after the season.
Until the season's over.
I still have to dive into all these guys' tape. But, man. Yeah, Dominic says Hartman's got the stats.
He does.
But here's the thing. I don't care about stats.
Yeah, the stats don't really matter as much in college. It's more about the measurables and the projectables.
Yeah, it's more about the measurables. It's what you put on tape. There's a lot of guys with good stats that throw freaking screens.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. It's a great example.
Who's going to win the Heisman this year, maybe?
J.J. McCarthy. Another great example.
Thanks. Sorry, Go Blue.
Yeah, sorry, Go Blue Buckeye. J.J. McCarthy might stink.
He's going to go back to school, I think.
All right, yeah, it's gonna be fun to break down all these quarterbacks, especially if Kenny stinks it up the rest of the year. We're gonna be going into the weeds on quarterbacks for sure.
I think they should draft a backup quarterback even if Kenny stays.
I mean, day 3.
That's what I'm saying.
But round 4 is still a pretty valuable pick.
Yeah.
Round 5, round 6, round 7, sure, take a quarterback. Who fucking cares? But round 4, you could still find a pretty decent player in those rounds, man. So
F Mitch.
Yeah. F. All right. This one's for you, Dominic. Always appreciate your passion for the NFL draft, man. Can't wait to break it down with you all spring long.
Oh, it'll be fun.
It's sour as shit, dude. All right, man.
Ready to get out of here?
I'm ready to get out of here. We will be back for the Steelers Talk Live watch party on Sunday. we're going to be doing a lot of short jokes and Kyler Murray boots
So
on
if you're short,
Sunday.
sorry in advance.
Hot Rod 24 says sign Kirk as a backup.
Cousins?
Yeah. No
First of
way.
all, no way.
First of all,
You'd sign him as a starter if you're signing him.
yeah, if you're signing Kirk Cousins, it's as a starter.
Yeah.
He's not coming here as a backup.
He's better than Kenny, number one. Sorry.
Yeah, first of all, he's definitely better than Kenny right now.
You're starting Kirk if you sign.
So,
I'm not opposed.
So I'm opposed because you're not going to be able to afford him.
Yeah, he'll probably get what, $25 million?
At least.
Even with the torn Achilles, you think so?
Yes.
I think so too. You think it's a 1-year deal?
It'll be a 1-year deal, but it'll be $30 million at least.
That's what I think so too.
So, with the Steelers already pressed up against the cap next year, that takes away any ability to do anything else in free agency if you sign Kirk Cousins. Because you're going to have to cut, you're going to have to restructure, you're going to have to do all that shit just to sign him, and then you're going to have no room to address the rest of the holes on this team.
At least we're not the freaking Browns and gave Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed to only play 11 games.
Yeah.
They stink.
Hey, stink. All right, man, that's going to be it for us today. We will see you guys live on Sunday afternoon. We will be here 12 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
For an hour of pregame here. We're going to break it down with you guys. We're going to have live play-by-play. So make sure.
Also, a sick MVP item this week.
Oh, yeah. Guys, just wait till you see the MVP item this
awesome.
week. It is absolutely unbelievable. If you thought the Hines Ward helmet last week was awesome, this week is going to blow your mind. I'm telling you right now. All right, that's going to be it for us today. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. We will see you guys on Sunday. And until next time.